Welcome back, and joining us now is Surendra Mehta. He's Secretary at India Bullion and Jewelers Association. Mr. Mehta, hi, thank you for joining us. Well, in fact, the end of 2024 and all that we're doing right now is putting out outlooks for 2025. But 2024 was an exceptional year. We've seen record highs. We've seen prices gain up between 28 to 30% in various currencies. And the World Gold Report also says that we've seen 40 record highs, a string of that in 2024. Do you see 2025 building up on this?
Well, I see 2025 is going to be not a very good year for the precious metal industry. We'll have to understand three important things. First is the US will be now run by the new president, and so there are going to be new tariffs. The US started their debt with 34 trillion on 1st January 24. Now they are up to 36 trillion debt. Out of total revenue of 4.92 trillion, they spend almost 1.12 trillion only on repayment of interest, only on payment of interest. Forget about repayment of debt. So the entire 2025 will be based on dollar index, how the dollar performs, how the US economy performs. What are the major decisions taken by the US government. So I think precious metal industry is going to be extremely volatile, and one may not see the kind of returns which precious metal industry has seen over the last 3-4 years. In my opinion, in a nutshell, I can say that honeymoon period for precious metal industry post-corona is getting over.
All right. So would that mean that 2025 could be a year of stability, accumulation into these markets there? Because the industry over by itself does say that you would be looking at expansions, that they're looking at more stores as well. When you say 2025 is not the year of precious metals, do you mean that in sense of prices, or do you mean that volatility for the industry in sense of profits?
Well, I mean volatility in terms of the movement of precious metal prices. As I can foresee, the precious metal prices can go as high as up to $3,200 to $250 in 2025, but there can be a steep fall to almost $2,100 to $150. So almost 33% to 35% down from the top. And what I foresee is that initially for the first 5 months or 6 months or maybe first 8 months, there can be increase in the precious metal prices as far as gold is concerned. And then there can be a steep drop in the precious metal prices. So if you look at the Indian prices, it can go down right up to 89,000 to 93,000, but it can again fall back to 59,000, 56,000. So anything can happen in 2025, and my advice to all those who are trying to open more and more stores: be careful. The industry is not going to perform as per your expectation, and hedging is going to be the key thing in 2025. And while we have seen that most of the industry player hardly do any kind of hedging in the market.
Oh, well, okay, those are interesting big ranges that you're giving to us for 2025. Talk to us also about in sense of the global cues here. Yes, the markets are uncertain on what Trump would bring in with his presidency in the next year. But how are you looking at the global central bank buying, the investment buying, the ETF numbers, which we have seen positive in 2024? So if we are looking at so much of uncertainty and volatility in prices, do you see these categories continue to accumulate gold?
Well, I personally feel that initially for first 6-7 months, yes, central bank will continue to buy. There would be buying in ETF. But then I see after inflation, there can be a deflationary period. And during this deflationary period, the other markets will go down, which will bring down even the commodity prices like gold and silver. So the gold and silver prices will be basically driven by the other markets. So you can understand, once there is a deflation, what happens is that people will have purchasing power, but they would still expect the prices to fall. So there would not be any buyers, and probably some of the policies of the US government might offload some portion of their gold also. So I don't see a very bright future for gold industry in 2025.
All right. You've said that thrice already in last 5 minutes. One final question then. Last year, the way the prices were rising, we saw investment demand come strong. A lot of diversification in gold was also happening. We saw a lot of financial experts tell us that 10 to 15 to 20% of your portfolio in gold is also fine. Would you change those numbers for the coming year?
For first 6 months, no, I won't change this number, but for the next, but I think one should offload initially in the first 6 months, then probably start buying towards the end of November, December. So that is my key, because I personally feel that the gold prices after 2025 may go up higher, but there would be definitely a buying opportunity for $2,100 to $150.
And any final sense on silver? Would you rather buy silver then?
Well, silver is going to be much worse than gold. The silver can go, in my opinion, as high as $49 to $52 in the first 6 or 7 months, but it can come back to $23, $25 by the end of December 2025.
Oh, wow, gosh, that is very, very big ranges coming in for gold and silver. So clearly, if you thought 2024 was volatile, well, you haven't seen anything yet, with the kind of numbers that we are getting thrown at us for 2025 are really bigger there. Thank you so much, Mr. Mehta, for joining us. Well, that's all the time that we have on the show, but stay tuned because Business Lunch will take all the action ahead.